slip of paper. Trying to get just the public hearing sheet that was posted. I don't have that. But anyway, we'll call a meeting to get public hearing on a one-day liquor license for Destination Caterers, Inc. This is required for a one-time license to be able to serve alcoholic beverages at a catered event within the community. I think we had one of these earlier in the year. And this one is, it's for a business social at Gorham Savings Bank. Ultimately, Sherry Norton is here tonight from Gorham Savings Bank. She is the sponsor, but you do not, I guess you represent the spot where it's being, or the company where that's hosting it, but the license will be in the name of Destination Caterers, Inc. So I'd open it up for any public input or questions or comments from the board.
Well, they're not here, Sherry. Do you have any information regarding their past history of serving alcoholic beverages as a catered event? Have they done it before? Are the people that they are having doing it been to any of the bartender classes, or has there been any problem at any event that they have served alcohol at?
Not at all. Charles Newrather would have loved to have been here. He's catering an event for 300 people tonight, so he couldn't make it. I'm here in his stead. But we have used them through Gorham Savings Bank several times, at my location alone twice in the past few years. Once when we did the County of York social, and another WAB Business Association sponsored social. In both cases, or all cases, they use licensed bartenders that have completed the certification courses necessary to serve alcohol at their events. So, and it's very calm, just a business after hours. You're all invited. But
Thank you.
Any other comments or input?
I understand you get some pretty good deals on loans after.
wait till I have 2 cocktails. No, I'm just kidding.
I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. New hearing and delegation. New business, discuss vote to grant one-day liquor license for Destination Caterers, Inc.
So move. Second.
Moved by John, second by Cindy. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
I understand Sherry needs to make sure she gets a signed copy of that this evening,
Tonight.
because there is some time constraints for the state having to get the application and hold it.
This is the original one with the October 15th date. I think you guys received a one with the 20th.
No, this is a...
Oh,
this
you
is
do?
a- yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Do we all have to sign it, Pam, or? Yes. Okay.
Our presentation isn't on here.
All right, while that's going on,
Presentation is not
we have 2 applications here this evening for renewal of junkyard, graveyard, automobile graveyard, and a junkyard permits. So we'll take those both. First one is for Ruth Jones. I think its business name is Ruth Jones Trucking, owned by Robert and Ruth Jones, 727 Main Street in Waterboro. That is the one, or the location, that is just past architectural skylights on the right-hand side, headed into South Waterboro. Anybody has any discussion on that?
There a recommendation from the CEO? Or?
The recommendation from the CEO was to, that all was in order with it. They did a walkthrough with the fire department, and everything was in order.
Any discussion?
Nope.
I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the automobile graveyard junkyard permit for Ruth Jones Trucking.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, second one is, permit is for Richard and Robin Lavigne, 1190 Main Street in Waterboro. And that would be, as you're headed out of South Waterboro. Do you need a copy of that? We'll take minutes while you're gone. Any discussion on Richard and Robin Levigne's?
Is
No,
that the same
then again, no
question?
problem.
Same thing, CEO,
Yep.
fire department went through it, no issues.
Any, no findings, so I'd entertain a motion on that.
I'll move that we approve the automobile graveyard permit for Richard and Robin Lavigne.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thanks. Well, who wants to sign, but, okay, old business, discuss parks ordinance. We're in another revision mode, is that the,
No, I guess Bob has some comments from the Parks and Rec Committee. They've reviewed it.
We're all in favor of it, and Mike asked me to tell you that everyone is okay by it, except there was only one question, is what are we gonna do about money? But then I spoke with Gordon, and Gordon thinks that we'll wait till next year at the meeting, at the annual meeting, is put in for some of the money for the...
well, there's not a lot of money associated with.
Just for some
Right,
signage.
just signage and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
There's only one revision that I'm entertaining for that, and that's the removal of the specific listing of all the parks that's within the ordinance. And rather having it in there, I'm going to make it an addendum that can be approved as needed by the Board of Selectmen, so that if we either add a particular location as a park or remove one from that status, maybe like we give it to the land trust or something along those lines, that we don't have to change the whole ordinance again and go through the whole procedure to do that. We just change the list that's added as an addendum on the back. And it'll be referenced within the article in the ordinance that would allow that to take place.
So, anything else on that? Okay, discuss, vote, approve personnel policy amendments. I presume as proposed by the administrator. Any discussion? Comments?
Comment.
Yep.
Sylvia Hewitt, Teamsters representative. The only concern we have, obviously, we have a contract in place, and we consider this a negotiated item. But the only issue that we really have is with the blue jeans. So we'd ask you to reconsider that. If you modify your proposal to allow blue jeans, we would still send a letter to negotiate the impact, but it wouldn't be as severe of an impact to us. So just point of consideration, given the current financial guidelines, or let's say construction that has been put on upon our employees, it's difficult to have to go out and re-wardrobe yourself. So if you would consider the blue jeans, it would make it easier for us all.
Okay. Any other discussion? Do we know if Nancy got everything back from, Matt had responded? I'm not sure that I'm assuming she had everything back that we needed.
The consideration with the fire department is that they're in somewhat of a unique situation. And do we look at having 2 personnel policies, or do we take those pieces that are specific to the fire department and somehow weave them into this policy? The majority of the policy has always been in place. There's just been a few tweaks to it, bringing up, instead of, I think it's a town manager or something, making it say town administrator, correcting some of the terminology, making it up to specs with Family Medical Leave Act. So it's what's always been there, and I think just the fact that a few things have been changed kind of put it on the radar of some people.
I think it's best to have one personnel policy for everybody, and then the fire department can have specific things above and beyond that. But I think everybody needs to really be under the same umbrella.
I'm in agreement with John over there. There should be one set of rules for,
Yeah.
everybody.
But as far as the jeans go, I mean, you're going to have departments that, I'm sure, the transfer station and probably Patty going out on a site, I don't see a big problem myself as long as people have clean.
Well, there is a piece in that excludes the non-office workers, like Public Works or transfer station, that allows them to wear.
So I don't really have a problem with jeans as long as they're not ripped, torn, or faded. But
I think the issue is that, how do I want to say this? I think appropriate, right? Is, I think there's a level of gene that's appropriate, and there's a level of gene that's
not
inappropriate,
appropriate,
right? Somewhere that line becomes an interpretation by someone.
I mean, you can have jeans, a nice shirt, and a jacket for a male or female, and that can be pretty acceptable. But then you can have jeans and a stained T-shirt with the knees out of them, and that's not appropriate. So, I guess in looking at that, if we do allow jeans into the, there needs to be a decision authority somewhere as to what is appropriate, what isn't, and it may be the administrator that calls the shots on that.
If I could, just for a point of clarification, I guess, is the same could happen for a pair of khakis, right? If it was a torn
that's right.
pair of khakis, or dirty, or something that wasn't appropriate because it was, torn right above the thigh or something, it would be the same. So whether it's blue jeans or whether it's a pair of dress pants, they have to be in proper wear condition.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we're not implying that we would
But
come
typically,
in with torn.
but I think typically jeans you can buy off the shelf with tears in them, right?
That's my
So-
youngest daughters.
So
And those are more expensive than your
I
regular.
understand that,
Yeah.
but I
Crisp
mean,
blue
there
jeans.
comes a point where, okay, some of those are certainly not appropriate, and I'm not sure that if someone tears a pair of khakis or tears a pair of jeans or whatnot during the course of doing work, then I think that's somewhat understandable, but
Just say,
The way I read it, it was excluding blue in color. Any other color jeans would be fine, but they were excluding blue, and 90% of my jeans are blue. So that means I'm gonna have to go out and buy green, purple, orange, whatever other color I can find to have enough clothes to wear.
I'd rather see you in a pair of
I
nice
don't-
blue jeans than
I
bright
don't
or...
wear torn ones, I don't wear ones that hang down around my knees. God, we don't want that, but, it seems that we were excluding the color.
Oh, I'm in blue jeans now. They look perfectly appropriate, I think.
And frankly, my personal opinion is it doesn't really matter except what I'm wearing, as long as I'm doing the job and I look presentable doing it.
yeah, I think
Well,
the key
to an
is,
extent.
yeah, I think the key is that there is a level of expectation that if you're serving the public, that there is at least a level of attire that is representative of the
And it's a
position.
shame we couldn't install that for some of the people that are coming in here after us.
We will not go there, all right?
I think your position tends to make you want to rise above that particular element to set the example. As far as jeans or slacks, I mean, I don't shop all that much, but I've seen where a pair of jeans will cost you almost double what a pair of dress slacks would cost. So I guess the cost argument, I don't see as really a valid point.
Well, but if they've already got jeans right
But if they've
now,
already got
That's the issue,
That's the
is that for the years that they've been working here, they have proper attire and they have that clothes already in their closet. To change the requirement that says the clothes that you have been wearing for all these years are no longer acceptable, you have to now go out and purchase new ones. That's why the cost is important, is because if you would leave the policy as it stands today without changing it, blue jeans would be allowed and they wouldn't have to go out and purchase new clothing. That's the cost issue. That's why it's so sensitive at this point in time, is because their pay has actually been reduced this past year, and now to reduce their pay and then expect to add on an additional cost to go out and buy clothing. And if any of you have children that go out and just bought school clothing, you know that that's an added expense, and it's not something easily absorbed into the household budget. So that's the concern we have, and that's why we're asking you, because blue jeans have been accepted. No one's questioning the T-shirt logo idea.
yeah.
That's the point of the
right,
poll.
yeah. And I think the T-shirt logo, I think we can all get around that. But the jeans, I like my jeans. And I think there's three of us sitting here right now in jeans.
So what's your pleasure here?
I'll just,
Yep.
and I know this probably won't be popular with the employees, and I apologize for that, but I think that it's important that we portray a professional atmosphere here, and I think one of the things that we've been talking about as a board is making sure that that perception was heightened. We're looking at improving our customer service, improving the appearance of when people come into town hall, making sure that we look like a professional organization. And I know that we had talked a little bit about this personnel policy as it came out and about having a dress code standard. Myself, personally, I'm opposed to any kind of dungarees, regardless of the color. I think that, this is a town hall atmosphere and that our employees should be dressed at a business casual level. And I don't think I was the only one that felt that way as we kind of talked about this a few weeks ago. Of course, whatever the board agrees to, and it's, majority of the board, but I think if we're looking to make a more professional atmosphere here, I think that the dress code should be business casual.
And I think when we discussed it, I don't think I was thinking more so much of the pants. I think I was thinking more of the logo T-shirts and some of those things. But I think in a lot of places, some of the jeans could be considered business casual. I guess it's a perception.
Yeah, again, it depends on what else you have on. I know where it's probably overly casual when you go to the university and see professors, but a jacket, nice shirt, and clean, fairly new jeans with is in that atmosphere pretty standard. Yet on the other hand, there's certainly an essence that comes with in the town office, or whether you're teaching. There's an expectation, I think, that comes on and looking well dressed, and that you're going to be well served. And same thing within schools where I work too, is if you had a teacher that looked sloppy, parents had a feeling that they maybe didn't want their kid in their room. But if you had a teacher that was well dressed, that probably they were organized also and that they did a good job teaching. And so the whole atmosphere of the school changes when people are better dressed. And I think the same sort of thing happens in a business atmosphere too. So I guess I'm dodging around.
Yeah.
One part of it says I would rather see a good pair of jeans and a clean shirt with a jacket than a pair of wrinkly khakis. So, on the other hand, if you say, okay, jeans are okay, then well, you maybe take the next step, and the jeans are kind of ragged, and you have a kind of a ragged shirt, and now you're not looking very professional. And and it affects the essence of the workplace and what people expect out of it. And if you're a little bit slopshod in how you do your work, that just kind of it shows up in how people are dressed.
So do you have a problem with jeans? No, my point, so there are three of us in jeans here. We're selectmen and we're setting an example. I guess he's in a nice pair of jeans and a vest and a shirt, and I've got a sweatshirt with it. I mean, is that appropriate? Is that not appropriate?
I've worn jeans here too, so I guess
Okay.
I would be a little bit, although they're under the table.
Well, we're still, but we're still,
Behind the table over there.
but I guess my point is, we,
So I think I'd feel a little bit of double-faced if I
said no jeans, that's right.
said no jeans, and well, I've come here in jeans before.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It would further define jeans to exclude ripped, frayed, fringed, faded, stained,
That would do it.
and go with that.
Or go with the word appropriate, jeans.
No, then you gotta,
There's such speculation on that. It's,
somebody makes,
guess.
who decides
somebody
someone's-
has to make a call that says, well, I don't like what you've got on today, and I don't think that's appropriate, so.
Yeah,
But I think it's,
go home and change.
it is probably certainly appropriate for some words that clarify that, hey, jeans are acceptable as long as, there's free of tears and rips and flares and, stains and paint stains and you name it.
I agree. Otherwise, I have to go out and buy all new clothes to be a selectman next week.
So do we want to,
Would you please?
somebody,
Hey, can I give you my opinion?
so does,
It's easy with jeans and suspenders over there.
as long as you got suspenders on, jeans are fine. So what's your pleasure? You want to amend this? You want to,
I just go with the person, I would make a motion to go with the personnel policy as written, except for blue jeans will be fine as long as they're not ripped, faded, have paint on them, or holes in
In
them,
good condition.
or stain.
Yes.
Thank you.
What about including somehow the fire department piece on this? Would we be better off to table this to get the fire department stuff in so that we're only doing this once?
I would
Yeah,
prefer to do that
okay,
if we're
we
going
can
to do
do
that.
that. Sure,
And
you're
then-
right, I didn't think,
And
you're
I
right.
think we change the
All right.
language, and at least everybody gets a
Right.
shot at looking
Yeah,
at the
that's
language
true.
before
You're
we
right.
take a vote on it.
So then I would make a motion to table this until we get more information from the fire department.
And I think Matt made suggestions. and,
Yep, he
you know,
did.
we
Yeah,
all
you're right,
That's why
no,
I
you're
was-
right, that's,
I was
you're
just,
right.
I was concerned
Yeah.
whether or not those had been incorporated.
Yeah, that's good.
So does somebody want a second Cindy's table motion?
Second.
No discussion on the table, all those in favor? Okay. Policy. Okay. All right, moving along, vote to sign warrants and bills and payroll.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Vote to sign minutes of 9:29 and 10:06.
Comment on the 9:29 minutes.
Yeah.
In the paragraph 2, it says, "We came out of executive session at 6:03 and then opened the selectmen's meeting at 6."
I only gave you when we came out of the thing.
So I think that needs to be
That probably
corrected.
should be changed.
Since I wasn't here, nobody took minutes for me. I'm guessing.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking
What
we
you
were
did is
we
you
were in
opened up the meeting
quantum
at
leap.
6.
Well, we opened the meeting,
We went in and out of the
we opened the
executive
meeting
session
on,
quickly.
we came out at 6:03, then I guess we opened the meeting at 6:05 or 6:03 or something, right? Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Well, to be an executive session, did that hold over from the meeting
No,
before?
the executive session was right, because those are the times that I gave you, what time we came
Yeah,
in
we
and
were,
out.
Okay,
we
because
were over a
you
little
need to
late.
go into a meeting before you can have an executive session. Either that or it's held over from the meeting
No,
before.
we came in early.
We
Yeah.
came in early.
at
So the
5
meeting
and had-
the meeting needs to be open before the executive session.
True. So we opened the general meeting at 6:05. Anything else? Were we all here for all of these?
I was going to,
Cindy,
did I missed one, right? The 20.
you weren't here on the 29th.
Huh?
Right, you
The
were not here
29th.
the 29th.
That's right, I was in,
Okay, so how about we
No,
do
I
them
was here.
separate?
I was,
You're not
I
on
was
the
here on the
list.
20, I wasn't.
No, you were here the
You were here
next
last week on the
You're right, the
6th.
20,
one.
yeah,
So
you're
let's do the
right.
29th.
You're right.
you were out shopping for jeans.
I was out shopping,
All
I
of-
did. I've got 10 or 15 here.
All of those,
I go to Goodwill to buy mine.
somebody want to make a motion to accept the 29th with the amendments as mentioned?
So
in the-
moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, 4-0. All right, last week on the 6th,
I'll move to accept those minutes.
Second.
all those in favor? Everybody was here, okay?
Um,
Items,
I don't know if we could, we were supposed to have on the agenda this evening to do the municipal law updates. And everybody has the book.
okay?
Probably would take about, 20 minutes to go through, 15, 20 minutes, if that.
If that, I think.
Okay,
So
Because we're
if everybody's agreeable to doing it tonight,
Sure.
I would make a motion that we add that to the agenda.
Second,
all those in favor? Opposed?
Bob, you may want to stick around. There's something in there about Parks and Rec that you might,
good.
if you don't mind. I mean, if you got something to do, I know that you,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right,
there's some things. that
go
you guys
ahead.
might
You're
want.
going to project this up on the screen?
We can't because
We don't have the power.
the electrician hasn't been here.
Oh, okay. All right, so how do we go?
Are we going to follow over it? Just follow through the book, or?
Yeah, you can follow through the book if you want. How do you want to do this? You want to go or? All right, as you know, Tammy and I went to the client
Part of it was,
municipal law update that was put on by our law firm, and there was some interesting things that came out of there. You've all been supplied with a book of what we went through, but rather than try to wade through that thing, what we've done is try to encapsulate some of the high points, and those are the things that we're going to go through right now that are going to impact us. One of the changes was the public law that went into effect, that municipal officers may now deny an on-premise liquor license if the individuals serving alcoholic beverages have not received training through a program that's certified by the Bureau and the municipality where the establishment is located. So when we have prospective businesses that come before us that are going to serve alcohol, one of the things that we can require, and this would require a change in our current ordinance language for us to be able to do this.
That's bartender training to deal with people who are making decisions of how much they've had to drink and how.
the tips
The
training.
serving, yes.
Well, what bothers me about that is, does that mean that we have to certify?
No, we do not have to certify. All we have to do is agree that the program that they're taking is certified by the Bureau.
Okay,
And that's as far as ongoing.
because you
Right.
note this,
Yeah,
it's
and-
certified by the Bureau and the municipality.
Yeah, it allows the municipality to have a
Okay.
voice in deciding which program they can use, because they can come up with, John Doe's bartender tips. That's really a fly-by-night kind of organization versus,
Right.
ABC Alcohol, which is an accredited program.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a reporting requirement now to Department of Human Services for independent contractors, much the same as you have for municipal or any employee that the town takes on. And this includes independent contractors when the contractual agreement exceeds $2,500. So anytime now that we enter into a contract with a vendor or somebody to do, work around here that exceeds that amount, then we're required to file the same paperwork as we would for an employee that we hired here. And that's so that they can get a handle on child support, payments and so forth. This does not include direct sellers, like if, like a lumber company sells you, the lumber to work on something, it doesn't include them. Workers' compensation for firefighters. The law now provides for a rebuttable presumption that a firefighter who contracts cancer contracted the disease as a result of an employment as a firefighter. And there's certain limitations and prerequisites that went with this. The limitations is the cancer must be one of 10 specific cancers that are listed in the Act. And the Act is referring to the law. The firefighter must regularly engage in the extinguishment of fires.
What does that mean?
My
Regular.
understanding of that is if you have somebody that has multiple functions within an agency, like let's say he's a firefighter paramedic, but most of his work is done as a paramedic, then he may not qualify under this.
Does it require a certain amount of years on the job in doing that, too?
That's the next one,
Okay.
is the firefighter must be employed for 5 years before presumption attaches. This one, we never get an answer to, is we don't know whether or not that is 5 years continuous employment with the same employer, or if that's cumulative. Like if they worked for Hollis Fire Department for 3 years and then came over and worked in Waterboro for 2 years. Does that constitute the 5 years, or does the 5 years have to be with the same agency? I don't know on that one. The firefighter must be diagnosed with cancer either while employed as a firefighter or within 10 years of retirement as a firefighter. The firefighter must be less than 70 years old. Now, the prerequisites, they must produce a medical test for evidence of the particular cancer within 2 years of the effective date of the legislation, demonstrating that he and she does not have cancer at this time. The firefighter must also provide an affidavit that the particular cancer is not prevalent in his or her immediate family, and that he or she has no other substantial lifetime exposure to carcinogens.
That's going to be difficult.
Another law that just becomes so convoluted that I'm not sure.
Are we supposed to go out, when we put a firefighter on, that we're going to have a
No.
doctor say that the person doesn't have cancer?
The onus is on the employee, right?
The onus is on the employee now to do it within
2 years.
the
Years
time
of the
requirement here. Whether or not that would become part of your hiring process when you have them take a physical, is to have them screen for those 10 things is something I guess we'd have to, discuss. The thing that's going to apply to parks on this is a state permit must be obtained before any swim line is installed on a pond or lake to mark a designated swim area. And this would affect Gobiel Park. There are only certain entities that are qualified to receive such a permit. One is camping areas, recreational camps, government entities, which would be Parks and Recs, or governmentally sponsored groups. So this means that if you own a camp on the lake, you can't have buoys or something out because you're not one of the qualified entities. So, and the people that are responsible for enforcing this includes your law enforcement and your code enforcement officer.
So what's the permit cost?
Oh, that's not, it didn't say.
They didn't specify that. They just said we have to get one, and that includes municipalities before we can
And
put
who do
one
we
up.
get it from?
The Bureau of Parks, the State Bureau of Parks and Recreation.
But that's not saying that people on the lake can't put out buoys.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
They are not an
The only
entity.
the only one that can do it now is,
Really, all those people on the lake have to get rid of their buoys, huh?
Yeah,
Swim lines.
swim lines.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but what's
Yeah,
interesting,
you can put out a buoy for a boat or something like that, you just can't have
right, a
Yeah.
swim
swim
line.
line.
Oh, that's gonna be
what's
fun
interesting
to
with
look-
this is there's actually discussion on if this is a state mandate or not, an unfunded state
Yeah.
mandate. So the presumption is that this is an unfunded state mandate, so the next piece of the discussion becomes, can municipalities be held responsible for enforcing an unfunded state mandate? And at this point, no, we can't.
I mean, I don't have buoys out, but if you go around the lake, how many buoys? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, there's a number of them that have swim lines in front of their
Sure.
places.
And this is specific to swim lines, not like if somebody's got a buoy out where they dock their boat
Yeah.
on the buoy. This is for the designated swim areas that
so
folks put
what's
out.
it considered, so 3 together would be a swim buoy? Or with 3?
Swim lane, a
No,
swim line.
you'd have a rope between the buoys with bobbers on them.
I understand that, but is,
I
so,
think 3
if-
individual buoys
Please.
probably does not constitute a swim lane.
but if they put a rope between them, it
I would guess
constitutes a
that that
swim lane.
would, yes.
And who's going to enforce that?
Local law enforcement, the code enforcement officer of the municipality.
Yeah, okay. Moving on.
This one,
You're going to have to buy Patty a kayak.
You really don't think I'm going to go around the lake turning my neighbors in?
I'm trying to get her to use mine.
this one you'll love. A write-in candidate must declare that he or she is a write-in candidate, and I believe it's within 30 days.
Within 30
Otherwise, their vote may not be counted.
Within 30 days of the election?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the vote may not be counted. And
It's actually 30 days prior to the election, they have to
Say that they're going to be written in.
declare that they're a write-in.
that they're a write-in.
But if they don't declare that they're a write-in candidate, someone else gets a write-in campaign for them, and they win and they accept it, but they weren't...
Well, the way the law is written, those votes may not be counted.
Even if the person doesn't know
Yeah.
that someone wrote them in.
Yeah, there's a section in there. You thought that this one would be
just-
interesting.
This is stay
They
up.
must spend an awful lot of time sitting there thinking up this stuff, huh?
Well, somebody along the way has encountered this as a problem, I guess. Also, the use of stickers for write-in candidates is prohibited. You can no longer.
You used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Nope, not anymore.
Emails. We had a rather long and lengthy discussion on that. And almost every workplace lawsuit today, especially in sexual harassment cases, has an email component to it. And this comes from the executive director of the E-Policy Institute, which develops email and internet policies for employers under U.S. News and World Report. One of the things that we thought was real interesting that came out of this was off-duty electronic postings. And this includes blogs, it includes news groups, it includes instant messaging like AIM or Yahoo, it includes voicemail, it includes threads like internet forums and those types of things. It includes texting, text messaging back and forth. That includes news groups. It includes chat rooms, if you get in there. It includes social networking services, which includes like Facebook and Twitter and MySpace.
I was in the Portland Press yesterday.
Now, use electronic postings. There are circumstances under which a public employer may discipline employees for off-duty postings and communications. The U.S. Supreme Court, and this was a 2006 decision in Garcetti versus Sabalos, said that when public employees make statements pursuant to their official duties, the employees are not speaking as public citizens and do not have the protection of the First Amendment for such speech.
That's a full statement.
Yeah.
That's loaded.
Online comments posted by employees while off-duty and while using their own private computers may still be the subject of discipline if the comments are detrimental to the mission and function of the public employer.
Okay.
Very interesting. Retention of emails. This was another, there's a rather large section in there on Title V that says when documents, it's from the Bureau of Archives, I mean, how long certain documents have to be kept. And you had mentioned about deleting emails. That poses a couple of problems that they encountered. It may be viewed as an attempt not to release required Freedom of Information Act material. And two, there's metadata that's lost. It's on a heading of an email that gives like date and times and how many times it's been forwarded and things like that a lot of, especially newspapers and everything, are interested in getting. If you're watching the news, you'll know that the city of Boston now is embroiled in a multi-million-dollar search for missing emails because one of the aides to the mayor down there had deleted these emails, and it's cost the city like I say, millions to go back and track those emails through the people that those emails were sent to. So it's
But now that everything's on the server,
well,
and we're all going
no,
through.
one of the issues is if you save your email to another location and then delete that email, all you're saving is the text, you're not saving the metadata that goes along with that. So what they recommended in this was, oddly enough, the use of Outlook and a server that goes along with that so that everything stays on your local host server like that. So
Which
I
is
don't,
what we're doing.
yeah, I don't know what
now.
this rack space does. My understanding from looking at that is that it saves all this
Right.
metadata and
Yeah.
everything, so we
So
don't
if
have
I'm
to-
on the server and I want to delete the emails that I don't want to keep, it doesn't really matter because if they come through, they're all coming through the server anyway, and I'm not deleting them off the server.
If you delete it, if you download them to your house, they will pull off that server unless you have checked to leave a copy on the server.
But I'm going through the server
Then you're
now,
all set.
so we're all set, right, yeah.
If you were to take
Right.
that, if you're taking that address and downloading it to your
Which I'm not doing,
Outlook,
right.
then
I'm
you have an
responsible for
issue.
it. Yeah, okay.
And that would be okay as long as you check the box in Outlook that it leaves a
Copy on the server,
Yeah, because that's what we need is that original copy.
right,
right,
Yeah.
okay.
okay.
That I'm sure we're going to have more discussion on the security of all
And
that stuff.
that's some of the highlights, but there's quite a lot of interesting, material in there.
Did you get a feeling that, I know they're talking employees, but with that, since the committees and stuff come under the personnel policy?
That was specifically asked.
Yeah,
And the short answer was that, yes, that could apply to volunteers as well.
Yeah.
okay, so actually.
You couldn't discipline them in the sense that you would an employee, but you have the authority to just remove them from that committee if you appointed them.
So basically, if you're working for the town, or if you're giving your service to the town, kind of stay off of anything that's going to reflect back on the town.
If you're giving information that you have because you're an employee, a volunteer, or it's serving the town in any capacity, and you make that information public, then you could be disciplined, is what this ruling is saying.
So
If
if I,
it's detrimental to the
If that
community.
information is detrimental.
so if, I don't know, I guess it's kind of hard being a selectman, but if I'm an employee or if I'm on a committee and I say, well, this department, I heard, is going to be spending this amount of money for something that's not in the budget, that's considered
The example that they gave was you have employee Joe and employee Jane, and employee Joe starts sending emails from his home address to other people saying, oh, that employee Jane is stealing money from the town.
All right.
He could be subject to discipline because that is related to town business, a town employee, even though it's off-duty.
So this is going to be a fine line, because if
There's a-
somebody
there's
says,
a
I don't,
There's a fine line there between freedom of speech
Right.
and what is not protected by the First Amendment. And that's why we've been in discussions with Dave and Nancy about getting all appointees for all the committees and all the town employees under the same email system, so that all town business is conducted through the things that we have set in place here, so that there's a certain level of protection.
but then when you go on to Craigslist or any forum or anything, that's
Then
just
you
opening
really
up.
should be careful of what you have to say, particularly if you happen to chair a committee, because that, your voice carries more weight than a committee member does specifically, because you're sort of the voice of that committee too.
Okay.
So,
All right, no, okay, so it's going to be,
yeah, so, I mean, you'd have to
It'll be
look at it
interesting.
obviously on a case-by-case basis, but we're only putting it out there to let people know within the municipal umbrella that these things exist and that there are ramifications if you happen to transgress that. You should,
So what a person says outside the workplace, if it affects the workplace environment,
yes,
then they can be held responsible for it.
yes.
Yep.
That includes in their own private computer or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Good.
A few weeks ago, the state had something in the paper that they suggested that all municipalities should go to have this seminar on the right to know law.
Yes.
So, the town should do that then and get all the committees together and
That's one of the things that we've talked about is getting everybody, having a couple of mandatory meetings so that people have a couple different options on which date they want to attend, but if you're going to serve on a town committee, having to come to one of these mandatory training sessions so that everybody has the same information on the Freedom of Access of Information Act. Everybody's acting accordingly, and nobody can say, well, I didn't know.
Yep.
You know, if the town is providing that training to all committee members, and it's for their protection as well. We don't want to see any of our committee members doing something that they shouldn't, not knowing that they shouldn't, and getting themselves in trouble.
Well, I think that's what the state was suggesting, that all the towns should get together and they have a
This
person
gentleman I want to contact is Brian
that teaches that.
McMaster,
I
who works
guess
for
they
the
have a
Attorney General's
person at the
office.
State House that teaches it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Brian McMaster from the Attorney General's office. He teaches all the law enforcement executives and others on this.
Well, if I could suggest, I think you ought to have one of those classes just for the employees.
I
I mean,
agree.
we all deal with it on a daily
agree.
basis, and,
Yeah.
we know that they're always changing, and
There is-
and a
that's
lot
right.
of this information, we don't know.
good.
So
I
think
agree,
you
I
should
agree
have
100%, Pam. I think it's got to be,
have an employee one, too.
Well, I think that was kind of what we talked about, was
Yeah.
everybody, employees, no matter what department they work for, all of your volunteers, everybody that falls under some town of Waterboro employment or committee needs to have that training.
so Dave, we need to get this thing hooked up. I don't know who we're waiting for.
Well, I can tell you the issue on that, and Dave's been on top of it, but the electrician that originally came here to give us an estimate, from my understanding, has either misplaced that estimate or that was a story that we might have gotten that he hasn't done it yet. I don't know. What I've done is contacted the fire department for the name of the electrician that worked on the station in South Waterboro, and he was going to be providing that information to the town administrator. And it's my understanding that this electrician could probably move more quickly so that we can get this done, because we've had this up here for now a month, isn't that correct? And,
Yeah, the
it should-
clock's been gone for longer than a month.
yeah. So
All right.
it's-
Well, good feedback. I think the thing that we probably ought to look at is bringing, one of, those folks in. If we do have a kind of a massive workshop, it would be good to have, Pat or Ken or somebody.
Pat was the
do
one that actually presented this piece
Yeah.
of the seminar on the emails and
Good.
freedom of information.
Just, the legal briefs that go on, and some of these laws you've heard before, and maybe several times before, but one of the things that has been my experience in being a school administrator, and I'm sure the same thing has happened with you all too, and that is the more you get of this, and the more regularly, then when a decision comes up that may be fairly heated, or maybe in the that you need to make a decision fairly quickly, that law piece that you've heard again and again and again kind of is there. And if you don't have it, you're more liable to possibly make a mistake that could cost you a lot of concern later on.
Yep.
So I think the more we do of this, if we had a yearly, I think again, I should have been there with this too. We should as a Board of Selectmen go to this yearly, and we should have a yearly piece for our committees too.
Yep.
And we have, the town attorney is coming in to speak to the planning board in a couple of weeks, and we all got a copy of the letter. I believe it's on the 20th, the 21st. Ken Cole and Natalie Burns will be coming in to do a legal workshop. It's Town Hall Annex at 6:30, October 21st. Some of the pieces that they went over that are regarding land use regulations and some of those codes that have changed are going to be presented partially to the planning board. So there's some other pieces of this manual that we got that we should all be at that planning board meeting with legal coming in, because I think there's a lot that we're all going to get out of it.
And we didn't include that in the talking points tonight because we knew that, excuse me, that was going to be taking place. This meeting was coming up, so that there's no sense in having, redundancy to supposed.
And some of those changes in law are going to require ordinance changes on our part.
And that meeting will be taped too, so, for the public to,
Is
the
it?
regular planning board meeting should be taped anyway, right? No? That's a workshop?
I think they do, no, they're starting early that day.
Yeah,
6:30.
Yeah, I think, okay.
Okay. All right, discussion of agenda items. I've got CIP discussions. That's wrapping up. The board needs to make some recommendations, and I know we've all kicked some ideas around, so let's just take a few minutes next week to kind of provide that to
Did you say
to
silver
Nancy.
bullet?
Silver bullets. Workshop would set up a workshop with Parks and Rec.
We need to address the bylaws and how the proposal that John and I put forth are going to affect the bylaws.
So we'll just put
Yep.
Selectmen's bylaws on there. Personnel policy should be able to come back. What else do we have?
The Parks and Rec ordinance.
Parks and
For
Rec
final
ordinance.
review before, we have to have
Yeah.
a public hearing, right?
Also, in the budget proposal that we all voted to accept, we said that in the month of October, we were going to have a meeting with department heads prior to the start of budget season, get some feedback, and as a board, come out with a directive from that meeting on where we want department heads to go with their budget. We only have 2 weeks left in the month of October, so I think maybe next week it would be a good time, maybe if we had a workshop before the meeting, to come in and as selectmen, just kind of get an idea of where we all stand, and then look at potentially having a meeting with department heads on the 29th to
Yep.
get their input.
Absolutely, and we're going to need enough time on that one because, that's That may go quickly and it may not. So I think we're going to need at least an hour on that one.
We have public,
3 public hearings.
3 public hearings. Those should not be long, drawn-out affairs, I would not think, so, okay. And we'll see how the week shakes out here. Anything else on that?
What about the, we had a resident that sent us a letter last week about tax interest,
Susan,
and we were going to formulate a reply to
I
her.
think Nancy has done that.
She has,
done it,
okay.
she sent it, yeah, and I
Good.
have a copy of it. Not with me, but I do.
All right. Items needing signature, warrants and bills of payroll, minutes of 9:29 and 9:06. There's no concealed weapon permits in there. Okay. All right.
The status of the phone bill situation?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
Why don't we put that on the agenda just as a, maybe Nancy can cover that in her report, status of the phone bill. Reminders, do not forget that Wab for Warmth raffle fundraiser is being conducted. They are still trying to sell, they're only going to sell 1,000 tickets at $10 a piece, and you get to win either $3,500 worth of heating oil or $3,500 in cash. I bel-
Tickets are available at Lakeside or
Right.
the assessor's office here
Right.
at the town hall.
So, make sure you grab an opportunity to pick up $3,500 worth of oil. Tomorrow morning, Wednesday, October 14th, here at the town office, or town hall, 7:30 a.m., the WAB Business Development Meeting. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m., road review at the town hall, Economic Development Committee. Thursday, the 15th, 4 p.m., at the town hall. 6:30, Thursday, Garden Club at the town hall. Friday, the 16th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., York County Community Action Fuel Assistance here at the town hall. You must have an appointment. Monday night, Board of Trustees at the town hall at 6 p.m. 12 town group here at 6:30 p.m. Any specifics on the agenda yet, John?
I haven't seen the agenda.
Okay.
It must have come into town hall by now. No?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which is unusual, he usually arrives today.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Selectmen's meeting at the Town Hall Annex on Tuesday night, and 6:30 p.m. The workshop with the attorney on the planning and zoning processes, updates, that's there at the Annex, and that's 6:30 prior to the planning board meeting on Wednesday, the 21st.
This is not,
Jack.
we have been,
What's his last
I think
name?
as a
He's on
Board of
the,
Selectmen, we've been pretty,
Communications Committee with
I
us.
think business
He's the one
friendly.
that always had
And
these.
the business after hours is going to be at Gorham Savings Bank at, I believe, at 5 o'clock Thursday, this
Yep.
Thursday. So it's something that selectmen, be nice to drop in.
Okay. Anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Good night.